Welcome to a special edition of Meet the Captains. Yes, it's that time of year finally. It's rolled around. It's the Winter League where only the strong shall survive. We've got 4 captains, 40 players, 10 players on each team. So first up, we have Mr. Travis Dillard. Travis is going to let us get a little insight on how he picked his team, his course, and his players. Travis, welcome to the show. How are you doing this evening, sir?
Good, Chris. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. Well, this is going to be fun and exciting, especially during these down times of what we call winter here in Texas. However, February probably will be cold, so get back to me then. But while I got you here quickly, we're going to be introducing you as the captain and all of your team and kind of get into your decision making on your course and how you might do your matchups this season. So let's first set the table and let's talk about how you first decided on picking your team members.
So as far as the team goes, a lot of the guys on my team, of course, are very good friends of mine that I've played with for a long time. Jordan and Treg, we've known each other, and Daniel Pineda. All 4 of us, we've all known each other since like middle school. So it's been like a 20+ year friendship. So it was going to be kind of hard not to pick those guys and put them on, let them have some fun. And then actually the day I found out about the Winter League, I think Tanner just happened to be at the shop. And so, of course, Tanner's at the shop, Nick's at the shop. So that was pretty easy to pick those guys. And then I called Charlie right away and was like, hey. So at first I thought because there was 10 and we're going to play with 7 for sure, and then you have 3 subs. So my first thought was like, well, I'll have like a sub for the pros, a sub for MA1, and a sub for intermediate rec. And then I realized, like, not everybody's going to make it all the time. So if I had like, an intermediate rec guy not show up, then I wouldn't be able to play that extra open player. So I decided to only go with Tanner and Charlie on the open side, and then have 3 of the MA1 guys, and then 4 intermediate rec players. And then so Andrew Jefferson works with us a lot. So of course I asked him. Nick works with us. Jason Moragas is always around. I mean, he's always, at Spring Valley all the time, and he's always around. And I think he happened to be, once again, he was another guy that just happened to be up at the shop. We were talking about some other things that I'm trying to work with him on. And I just, had the opportunity right there while he was there to ask him if he'd play with us. And then Tanner had mentioned he had talked to Sharu sometime pretty recent, right around the same. Like I said, a lot of mine kind of worked out, and then I had asked a couple other females if they wanted to play. A lot of them had a lot of other things going on. So it really worked out that Tanner had just talked to Sharu, and then so I told him to ask her, and she was all about it. So I was excited because she's awesome. So it's nice.
Well, you give a little bit of a slight to how you picked your team, because first off, the names that you're throwing around, they're very good players. So they do have talent, and I know that was part of the reason, besides the fact that some may have just conveniently been right next to you when it all went around. Because to be honest with you, and I'm pretty sure Jordan will tell you this, I tried to steal him because I didn't know if you were going to pick him on your team because of the depth of roster that I thought you could choose from. And so I told Jordan, I said, hey, we'd love to have you. I said, heck, you can even have my spot, to be honest with you.
I was going to say, that's what I told him too. I was like, I'd rather me not play right now. Jordan's playing some really good disc golf. So
hey, so is Treg as well. I would have loved to have both of those guys. Not only that, because Jordan also is a little sleeper that not many people realize this, but he did win our first match play that we had in the intermediate. And I mean, that was a stacked field that he beat as well. So he's got a little history behind that as well. So I say that to say this: you definitely have talented players, and Sharu is just going to be phenomenal. And your 2 open players are just wonderful. The swing players, I think, in this format are really kind of the key to the success of any captain. As you looked upon the rule set, what kind of gave you an idea of how you might go about picking your matchup, and B, picking your course?
So we went with TC Jester, and the only reason I did, honestly, is I think it's a pretty fair course for a lot of people. And a lot of our team doesn't necessarily live on the north side. A lot of them do, but a lot of the courses are also seem to be a little bit, more on this north side. And so I went down just a little bit. It's not too far south, but I tried to get at least a course in there that maybe Tanner didn't have to drive quite as far. And a couple other people, of course. Charlie lives downtown. I mean, there's a bunch of people. To be honest, I don't know where Sherul is, but I'm assuming down south somewhere, because I only see her normally when I play in the events down there. So yeah, I just wanted to get something a little, I play these courses a lot, and a lot of this league I'm looking at is just a really good time. A lot of should be like some really competitive, fun matches, and new to me. I mean, put me on neutral courses and stuff, and I like it. Something, even if we could go to like a brand new course, it'd be just as fun to me. So
Okay,
I
so
like it.
let's talk a little bit about the matchup. So obviously this first round you've drawn the Mayo team, and I believe that round, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be at Stonebridge Church. So you know the roster well, you know the format. It's they pick, you pick, they pick, you pick. That, knowing that, is there something that you see in their team and your team that you feel like you match up favorably? And how are you kind of going about looking at this first matchup as far as your picking of the matches?
So, well, first off, I'll tell you that Jordan called out Mayo already, and then Joe called me out. And like, to be honest, I've been mulling over like not making that happen just to kind of dig, but I'm pretty competitive. So whenever you get called out, it's hard not to just go ahead and let that happen, And so I think I'm a little excited. This will be the first time I pick, so I'm a little excited to see how it actually goes down. I think our teams are actually really, really competitive. There's this really sweet spot that honestly, because of the format, it being intermediate rec combined, like there's a big swing in skill that you can have in that division. I think on the pro side and the MA1 side, it's a little closer. Everybody's skills are pretty close. And then in the intermediate rec, I mean, it's going to come down. I think it's going to come down a lot to those guys. In my opinion, I think you could have lots of splits and stuff on the higher ends because one guy has a good 9, then the other guy has a good 9. You could split more often. I think, in intermediate rec, guys, like, man, when somebody's on, they're on, and when they're not, they're not. Where I feel like the higher you get, the higher level you get, it's more about consistency. You might have a couple bad holes, but overall consistency is much more likely than us rec guys. Intermediate guys, we can be all over the place. So I'm pretty excited to see how it works out.
Well, I took a little survey, and after the votes were tabulated, they did a little preseason ranking, just so you know, and y'all were far and away the number 1 seed as far as the people that were polled in this polling as far as the seeding goes. Number 2 was the Mayo team in which you faced, because they are definitely strong and they won last year. So experience does pay off. I know that rankings don't mean much, but on paper you do support a very strong team, that is for sure. So I'm looking forward to the matchups this weekend. And out of all the matchups that you're looking to play this weekend, if you could pit 2 opponents together from their team and your team in the double side, what matchup would you be most like to see?
I mean, I don't know. I think I really like their MA1 players, and then I like mine. So I think it could be, a really good matchup when it comes down to the MA1 guys playing each other. Because I think they have Holman playing MA1 and Hunter, and then I have Nick, and
They got
Andrew's
Brian.
not.
They
Yeah,
got Brian
Andrew's not
Trahan.
playing. So it'll be Jason and Nick.
Yeah, they got Brian Trahan too. So they got a kind of a swing
Well, I
team.
think Trahan has to sit. I think he has to miss because of work or something. He
Oh,
might
okay.
be back for the doubles. I can't. I don't think we're sure yet.
Yeah,
But
I think yeah, you're right because I called him out on the course with Jordan with me. I yelled across the course at Stonebridge. They were on another hole, and I go, "Jordan's gonna kick your ass!" And then he walked over, and he thought that we were talking about physically. I was like, "No,
oh
no,
my
no, no.
goodness.
We're just talking about the match there. It was all in fun. It was in jest there.
Yeah.
So I did kind of lay down the gauntlet with him, but he did mention that he might not be able to make it as well. I think that's the fun thing about this as well because so many of the players currently this year are kind of on the north side, so we are able to kind of get in that jabbing and kind of the fun poking and prodding that we do moving into this format. So I'm very
And
much
then
looking forward to it.
I'd probably like to get Joe and Mayo against me and Jordan too, just to make they both call outs in the doubles match, so it'd be kind of fun.
That would be fun to see. There's some
And
matches there that
Stonebridge
I
is so
would
much
play
fun.
off. Yeah, because it really does some equalizers for you. It takes out the distance on a lot of the holes, and it really puts in some more of the skill shots and the putting. I wish Jordan's been just killing it, but Mayo's a good putter as well. So I mean that's yeah, that would be a match I would love to see. Well, Travis, I want to thank you so much for joining the First Captain Show. We'll be doing this on a weekly basis, kind of wrapping up last week's event, moving on to the next one, not weekly, but bi-weekly as we get closer each match. But I don't want to take up any more of your time. And once again, thank you for coming on this evening. And I look forward to seeing what happens next Saturday at Stonebridge Church.
All right, Chris. Thanks.
I mean, you have a good night. Peace. All right, my friend. I think that's
Cool.
good. Unless you have anything else you want to talk about.
No, man, I think it's good. I really am pumped, dude.
Oh,
I hope I think everybody is. I think now it's funny, like, because everybody played league today, or Joe and a couple guys were playing. Man, Colin shot like 6 down at league today at Spring Valley, man. He shot a 994 rated. That's why, like,
soaked. Wasn't it wet?
oh, it was soaked, yeah. But it was fine. The ground was wet and soggy, but overall,
No
a
slipping
couple.
and sliding.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you talk to me, I had a perfectly